that better than our Grand Marshal this year? James West and Megan West, would you please come forward? Folks, our Grand Marshal for today's parade truly represents those values of bravery and dedication. And his
Today, we honor the men and women who had the courage to step forward, the men and women who made the sacrifice to serve their country, the men and women who did their duty and kept us safe.
Live from downtown Huntsville, you're watching the 2023 Veterans Day Parade, sponsored by Nucor Tubular Products and Still Serving Veterans.
The 11th day of the 11th month, this is the 2023 Huntsville Veterans Day Parade. Good morning, everyone. I'm WAFF 48 News anchor Liz Hurley. It is my pleasure to be with you today in downtown Huntsville, a beautiful downtown Huntsville, a balmy 60 degrees, no rain in the forecast. It promises to be a fantastic celebration. We're here today to honor those who served, those who wore our country's uniform. We are the home of the free because of the brave. It will be a wonderful Veterans Day parade, fantastic, the very largest in Huntsville history, 175 entries. We have military floats, we have motorcycles, we have bands, and we have heroes, many, many heroes. My friend, Colonel John Kinsley, is with many of those heroes now here at the Veterans Memorial in downtown Huntsville. John, please kick off today's salute.
Thank you, Liz, and good morning, Huntsville. Some of you have heard some of this, but for our TV viewing audience, we're going to go through it again here. I am John Kinsley, the chairman of the Huntsville-Madison County Veterans Week Committee. And on behalf of Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle and Madison Mayor Paul Finley, I want to welcome everyone to our 2023 Veterans Day Parade. Today we gather in a tradition that started over 100 years ago when the nation set aside a day to honor its veterans. In Huntsville and Madison County, we of course take that a step further, and we dedicate an entire week to honor all those who serve. This year's Veterans Day proclamation reads in part, this Veterans Day, we honor the generations of women and men who have served and sacrificed, not for a person, not for a place or a president, but for an idea unlike any other, the idea of the United States of America. For nearly 250 years, our veterans have defended the values that make us strong so that our nation could stand as a citadel of liberty, a beacon of freedom, and a wellspring of possibilities. As a nation, we have many obligations, but we only have one truly sacred obligation: to prepare and equip the brave women and men we send into harm's way, and to care for them and their loved ones when they return home. And we are certainly here to do that today. As Liz said, today you'll see a lot of military equipment in our parade that was used in different wars and conflicts. But I'll remind you what General Douglas MacArthur said. He said, "The soldier above all others prays for peace. For it is the soldier who must suffer and bear the deepest wounds and scars of war." No one knows that better than our Grand Marshal this year. Our Grand Marshal for today's parade truly represents the values of bravery and dedication. And his service to others has continued long since he took off a uniform. Staff Sergeant James West is our Grand Marshal this year because of his service and his story. It's a remarkable story of growing up as a foster child, deciding to enlist in the Army, then serving 2 tours in Iraq before being severely wounded and burned over 40% of his body. But James, they never gave up on life or each other, and he fought. He fought through the burns. He fought through countless surgeries for nerve damage. He fought through higher education and completing a bachelor's degree and master's degree. And now he fights for other veterans and burn victims. They truly are an inspiration for any veteran who's suffering through injuries, and for all of us to admire and recognize in service. They're an inspiration, and we are so proud to have them with us today as our Grand Marshal, our living legacy of service, perseverance, strength, and courage. James, Megan, and Allie, thank you so much. Our reviewing officer for today's parade is Lieutenant General Chris Mohan, the Deputy Commanding General of Army Materiel Command and the Senior Mission Commander of Redstone Arsenal. And seated next to him is Command Sergeant Major Sellers, the Command Sergeant Major for Army Materiel Command. General Mohan, thank you for honoring us with your presence today and your dedicated service to our nation. As always, the Stars and Stripes will lead our parade. The Redstone Arsenal Joint Service Color Guard, under the direction of Master Sergeant Timothy B. Williams II, will present the colors. The Color Guard members are Sergeant Jordan B. Chop, U.S. Army; Sergeant Michael T. Seats, U.S. Army; Sergeant Sarah C. Donald, U.S. Army; Sergeant Akashua J. Thomas, U.S. Marine Corps; PO1 Ryan M. Zanol, U.S. Navy; Tech Sergeant Kenneth Oakes, U.S. Air Force; Staff Sergeant Brenton J. Grierson, U.S. Space Force; Master Sergeant Antoine L. Eccles, U.S. Coast Guard; and Sergeant Jonathan J. Johnson, U.S. Marine Corps. Following the presentation of colors, an arrangement of the national anthem will be performed by the Huntsville Master Chorale under the direction of Dr. Patricia Hacker. The invocation will be offered by Colonel Stanton Trotter, Army Materiel Command's Command Chaplain. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a battery cannon fire salute provided by Rocket Battery K, 2nd Battalion, 14th Marines. We will fire a cannon salute to signal the official start of the parade, and manning the cannon is Master Sergeant Osler Vincent, Sergeant Reginald Price, and Corporal Zachary Godwin. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the presentation of colors, the national anthem, and the invocation. Master Sergeant Williams.
Forward, march. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, right wheel, march. Left, 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 forward, march. Left, 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 right, right, left, 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 right, left, 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 right wheel, march. Left, 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 right, left, mark time, march. Left, 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 color guard, halt. Present arms. Sir, the colors are present. Permission to start the parade.
Permission granted. Start the parade.
Yes, sir. Order, arms. Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, streaming. And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night, and the flag was still there, was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Order, arms.
Please join me in a word of prayer. Let us pray together. Almighty God, we pause in your presence this morning, realizing that all blessings come from you. So we ask your blessings upon this open ceremony and parade this day. Help us, Lord, to remember, honor, thank, and appreciate our veterans who served our nation. Almighty God, we thank you for each veteran, those present here with us today, those we remember in our hearts who are no longer with us, and those veterans we remember, our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, who we know but are not here with this day. Lord, bless all our veterans and help us this day honor them properly and with great appreciation. We ask that each step of this parade, with each clapping of hands and with our shaking of hands, and with all that we do to honor our veterans, we humbly ask, O Lord, that our veterans will know our appreciation of them. And finally, Lord, grow in us a continual appreciation of you and your guidance in our lives. May we always follow your direction and live in peace with you and with each other. We ask this all in your holy name. Amen.
Left wheel, march. Left, 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 right, left, left. Mark time, march. Color guard, halt. Go! Forward, march, left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, one.
And a very good morning to you, everyone. I'm Liz Hurley, joined by Colonel John Kinsley, retired U.S. Army. This is the 2023 Veterans Day Parade coming to you live in downtown Huntsville. You just saw the Huntsville Fire and Rescue Pipers, the pipe band, walking in front of you, as well as the 313th Army Band kicking off today's fantastic parade.
Good morning, Liz. Here comes Mayor Tommy Battle in that 1927 Aaron's Fox that the city's had for 96 years.
And Chief Mac McFarland, good morning, you all. Good to see you. And the mayor's grandson, hello. Wonderful day. And followed by the mayor, we have a 1978 Allen. Hello. That is a very special fire truck. Chief Allen really got Huntsville modernized when it comes to Huntsville and Fire and Rescue. So that fire truck is really special to firefighters.
Absolutely. It's an amazing connection where they held onto their history with something as old as a 1927 fire truck that just drove through, but still actually has a water cannon that can shoot water 200 feet in the air, still fully functional, but yet have the modern equipment to protect us all today.
Our Gold Star families are crossing in back of us, John.
Survivor Outreach Services and our Gold Star families are coming through now, Liz. Our Gold Star families, of course, are family members of fallen soldiers. We cherish them, we give a special place in our heart, and remember their sacrifices every day. That Corvette that you just saw roll through was specially painted to remember our soldiers and our fallen. This float you see coming through for the Gold Star families is in replacement of an old cotton gin that normally came through with Survivor Outreach Services. The cotton gin couldn't make it, so Mr. Baker committed 60 hours of his own time to build that float and with all of those photos.
Look at the photos. It is just amazing.
We will never forget.
We will never forget. Now the Patriot Guard, can you hear them? They are revving those engines, waving the red, white, and blue.
They're a little quiet so far. There we go. Liz, the Patriot Guard Riders have been special to the military. Most of them are veterans, but not all. It's not a requirement. They're a nonprofit organization that has been escorting and serving around the soldier memorials and funerals since 9/11. They've been escorting movements of soldiers from fort to airfield and then back home. They've really done a special job and carry a special role for us. They keep America remembering our deployed military and the sacrifices our soldiers make, and we love them very much.
And they were there at the airport when our heroes arrived this week.
That's right, the Rolling Thunder escort of our wounded heroes that came in this week with the Semper Fi Community Task Force.
We now have the Madison Police Honor Guard. Thank you. Also known as the Madison City Public Safety Honor Guard, comprised of members of the Madison City Police Department as well as the Madison City Fire Department.
There's Mayor Finley with the Fire Honor Guard today, riding in the hose bed of the 1948 Chevrolet fire engine. Along with other members of the City Council, that fire engine is being driven by Madison City Fire Chief David Bailey. Riding shotgun with Chief Bailey is Madison Police Chief Johnny Gandy. The city of Madison has just grown so tremendously over the last couple of years. The fire departments, the police services, they bear the burden of that expansion, and they're out there in force for us every day.
And they came riding in style. Look at all the Jeeps. How apropos. City of Madison.
Here we're getting the Madison County Military Heritage Commission and the Military Hall of Heroes. The 2023 Madison County Military Heritage Commission Hall of Heroes inductees and their family members are riding in those fabulous Jeeps provided by the Rocket City Wranglers. This year's inductees were Colonel Roy Adams, Corporal James Andrews, United States Marine Corps, Colonel Will Johnson, U.S. Army, and Specialist Ronald Wright, U.S. Army. And we heard their fabulous stories last night, Liz, and I think you're going to present some videos in our broadcast today.
We have been doing that all week long. We showed those last night at a very special dinner. So many of our heroes were there, and these are very special men. Now, upon their induction into the Hall of Heroes, these inductees' names are going to be added to the list of the Hall of Heroes that fill the walls in the lobby of the Madison County Courthouse.
Blue Star Mothers is coming across our reviewing stand now. The Madison County chapter of Blue Star Mothers of America is a private nonprofit organization in the United States that provides support for active military, their families, and veterans. Liz, the reference to Blue Star is, of course, the Blue Star flag that originated in World War I in the state of Ohio. Years later, it was adopted by the country. Fell out of popularity for a few years, but after 9/11, the American Legion started promoting it, and now it's well known again across our country.
For those who may not know, what is the difference in a Blue Star family and a Gold Star family?
A Blue Star flag in a window shows the family of a soldier that's deployed. When a gold star is laid over top of that blue star, it recognizes a soldier that won't be coming home. Vets with Vets is rolling by. Liz, I refer to this as the $1 Million Mile right here.
Yeah, because there's $1 million riding on Huntsville city streets right now.
Vets with Vets are Corvette owners. We're proud to support our wounded heroes with the Semper Fi Community Task Force. Their mission of honoring our nation's heroes during Heroes Week. Today, Vets with Vets and Corvette owners have the honor of escorting our wounded heroes that we've brought to Huntsville this week to show our gratitude to those from outside of Huntsville that have sacrificed greatly. Their membership is comprised of Corvette enthusiasts who are proud to support America's veterans and who collectively endorse community charities. Any Corvette owner with a heart for veterans is welcome and encouraged to join.
We have thousands lining the streets of downtown Huntsville. We're going to check in right now with WAFF 48's Peyton Walker. Peyton, where are you? Who are you with?
Okay, Liz, I'm not too far from you. I'm just down the street here. I'm facing Jefferson. But can I just say, I was here not too long ago just kind of taking a lap before the parade started. I have been overwhelmed, not necessarily almost just by the turnout, but really by the amount of kids and teens who are here this morning. I mean, I think we've almost surpassed an era of history, if you will, where almost every American, I think, had someone serving in our nation's military. I mean, you think about times of World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. Again, joining our armed forces was almost a generational trait. Not necessarily so much the case in 2023, but to see these kids, little toddlers, sitting next to veterans in their Vietnam ball caps, it is truly moving to think that they are divided by decades, but united by the pride in this country. So really sweet. I'm going to be out here. I'll be bringing you more live looks throughout the parade. But for now, Peyton Walker, 48 News on your side. Liz.
Thank you, Peyton. Can you hear the motorcycles in back of me? The Tuskegee Airmen motorcycles, near and dear to the state of Alabama. The Tuskegee Airmen Motorcycle Club, actively committed to community service, does a lot of community service throughout the year, including helping the mentally and physically challenged adults in our community, school supply drives, clothing drives. Really fabulous, keeping the name and the intention of the Tuskegee Airmen alive.
What a tradition, Liz. Coming right behind them is our U.S. Army Huntsville recruiting station. People are the greatest strength of our Army. And soldiers in the Army serve in more than 200 careers in a wide range of specialty areas that align with their individual passions, skills, and talents. The Huntsville recruiting station is located at 6125 University Drive in Huntsville. And Liz, I can honestly say my 27 years in the Army was an outstanding experience. So much so now my youngest son serves as a new second lieutenant on active duty. Be all you can be, America, in the U.S. Army.
And that is really important to hear today because recruitment numbers are down across all branches of service.
It is a challenge for the Department of Defense and the entire armed forces, something that the Army is aggressively working on to communicate better, outreach stronger, and make contact with America. We've got thin line support that just came through. Thin line support supports first responders with logistic support. Sometimes our first responders are in places where the Red Cross and other support has moved on, and they're still doing a job. Thin line support takes care of those first responders, their families, and helps them continue to be able to do their job.
Do you hear them? The maroon and white? Do you see them? They've got their maces in hand, and they are tearing it up on Monroe Street. Alabama A&M marching maroon and white, steeped in history and tradition. The band was established in 1890 by Professor William Still.
This is certainly going to make this year's parade special. Look at them, listen to them. We haven't been able to have the A&M band for a couple of years because of weather and COVID. This is just awesome, Liz.
The maroon and white head to New York City next week to march in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and represent the Alabama A&M Nation, the city of Huntsville, and the state of Alabama.
Their show band of the South is going to be performing at Southwest Athletic Conference, Liz.
still have the marching maroon and white passing us. Again, what you said, if you didn't hear us on TV or here in downtown Huntsville, they haven't been able to be with us the last few years because of the weather, but we are so glad they are with us today. Next week, again, heading to New York City, the Big Apple, to perform in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And the Sergeant Majors from Redstone Arsenal joining us today.
Liz, this is the Sergeant Major Association. Retired Sergeants Major and E9s from all services, volunteering, mentoring junior ROTC programs, and our non-commissioned officer corps. The Sergeants Major are an awesome force of leadership. They are the senior enlisted advisors to commanders across the Army, and we commonly refer to them as our right arms. They're so valuable to us.
Not a whole lot gets done without the Sergeants Major, correct?
That's correct, and no one knows more about what's really going on in a military unit than the Sergeant Major. They keep the pulse and they have the eyes and ears.
And we now see some beautiful classic cars. The North Alabama Region Antique Automobile Club.
Listen, Liz, this is the Alabama Region of Antique Automobile Club of America. They celebrate the rich automotive heritage of the region with a passion for preserving vintage vehicles and fostering a community of car enthusiasts. And boy, are they. Additionally, they encourage and organize educational programs, restoration projects, keeping the spirit of classic automobiles alive. And here today, they're here to support the veterans of America.
These are beautiful. And a reminder, you say the veterans of America. It's really important to note that people who are entered into this parade have a connection to a branch of service.
I'd like to have a connection to one of those automobiles.
Mm-hmm. What beautiful cars. Mm. POW MIA represented there. Beautiful classic Camaro coming by us. And a Charger.
Those Dodges coming at the end brought in the Hemi engine to America muscle cars.
Followed by the Antique Club, we have the FMS Aerospace, a turnkey provider of aircraft modifications and flight test services. Its dynamic team of engineering experts brings any aircraft design concept or modification idea into a certified reality.
Liz, the key word there is certified. FMS Aerospace works on aircraft and aircraft components. So terms like airworthiness become extremely important. We don't want to have a bad mechanical failure while an aircraft is in flight. So their certified work is really what distinguishes their service and their maintenance qualities. Behind them, we've got the American Heritage Girl Scouts Troop. The 13th 108th Ordnance Battalion is an Army Reserve unit based on Redstone Arsenal. It's made up of instructors that provide maintenance series MOS, military occupational education and training to all components of the Army, active, reserve, and guard. They're sponsoring the American Heritage Girls Troop from Farley Community Church in South Huntsville. The American Heritage Girls is the nation's premier scouting organization for girls ages 5 to 18 years of age, rooted in Christ and focused on serving in the community.
We are here to honor our veterans. We talked about so many being inducted in this year's Hall of Heroes. We want to introduce you to someone who is now among those individuals. Our Haley Baker talked to retired colonel with a heart of service toward our country. He has served both in Vietnam as well as in Desert Storm.
that I don't believe I'm a hero.
However, retired Colonel Roy Adams' list of accomplishments and awards would say otherwise. He knew at a young age he was going to serve his country.
In the 10th grade, which 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I remember, and some of my fellow classmates were all upset that there may be war. And I remember me saying, well, I'm ready to go.
He attended college at the University of Alabama, joining the ROTC program, and commissioned in 1970. Shortly after that, he got married, had a 5-month-old son, and was off to Vietnam.
But it was probably the most formative time in my military career because of what I learned in Vietnam.
From Vietnam, he went on to serve in a ranger company on Fort Hood and later sent to Germany. After this, he decided to resign his commission and get out of the Army. He spent time on Capitol Hill working for Senator Jeremiah Denton of Alabama, who was a veteran and prisoner of war. But after his time in politics, he still had a desire to serve.
I had a desire to be, it was part of me. I wanted to be in. I was able to re-enter active duty as a captain.
An active duty soldier again, Desert Storm broke out and he was back on the front lines. And that's where he earned a Bronze Star with Valor.
The award was given to me because of the way I handled myself during the whole battle. I was always outside my Bradley. I wanted to see the battlefield, and so I rode the whole time through the war outside. Here up.
After the war, he was selected to be the battalion commander at Fort Benning, Georgia, commanding the 1st Battalion of the 18th Infantry Division.
Love being with soldiers, working with them.
And later assigned to the Joint U.S. Military Assistance Group in the Philippines, where he landed on a hit list.
If they could kidnap the chief of the Military Assistance Group, it would be a real embarrassment to the Philippine government.
An impressive military career. And now he's the latest inductee into the Madison County Hall of Heroes, along with his son-in-law, retired Colonel Will Johnson.
We're a military family, basically an Army family, but we're a military family, and very proud of all of them.
For serving. Now you see the Hazel Green Naval Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps. Hazel Green School here in North Alabama. The program curriculum emphasizes citizenship, leadership skills, many, many fantastic things. Huntsville City Schools leading the transportation here. Big yellow bus.
Liz, we all know what that big yellow bus is. It's the future of America riding on those wheels.
True.
Give them a break, America, when you see those buses going through your neighborhood. Rocket Taekwondo is a martial arts program coming through our reviewing stand now. Founded by Master Jeffrey Davis on Redstone Arsenal back in 2001. They proudly have 15 different countries represented in their program, and kids and martial arts artists ages 4 and up.
Good group there. Good morning. Okay, we talked about the military. We talked about the motorcycles behind us now. The Redstone Riders Motorcycle Club traces its roots back to 1978 in the barracks of Redstone Arsenal. Now, originally the club was all military personnel, but it's certainly grown to include civilians and retired military. The Redstone Riders Motorcycle Club remains true to its original objective of supporting veterans and veterans organizations.
Liz, riding in this green Hummer is Miltope, a leading manufacturer of rugged computers, servers, mass storage, network, peripheral equipment, and satellite communications. Miltope produces the highest standard of rugged, reliable, solution-ready, and battle-tested equipment because they know their customers and our warfighters expect nothing less.
And in this People Tech, the North Alabama Korean Association is carrying Gold Star family member Lieutenant Colonel retired Paul Reeves and his son Gary Reeves.
Lieutenant Colonel Reeves served in Korea from April of 1952 to July of 1953, and his younger brother, Richard Reeves, was killed in action in the Korean War.
Peyton Walker joins us now with a very special guest. Peyton?
Hey, Liz, I am standing here with President Abe Lincoln. Abe, sir, thank you so much for coming down. What are you, 200? You've seen quite a few Veterans Days, I imagine.
Yeah, over 200. I've seen quite a few. All these people have come out. It's great. It's wonderful. Honoring our history and letting people know that we're still here to support our troops.
Yeah, well, we're so grateful you're here. I take it you don't always go by the name Abe Lincoln. Tell us who exactly you are, how long you've been doing this.
Well, I'm Mike Cox, and I've been doing this for about 30 years.
Wow.
Go to schools, watch the expression on people's face, their mouths open, wide open, and they want pictures, and it's a wonderful thing. It touches lives.
Yeah, very much so. Well, you impersonate him very well. You got the full look. I got to tell you, though, I mean, you could have been a lot of presidents. Abe Lincoln, though, why is he special to you?
Well, because he was the one that helped our country, along with George Washington. He started the Revolutionary War, and I started the Civil War.
Wow. So, yeah, here you are. Well, we thank you so much for being here. You do the look very well. Can we get a Abe Lincoln impersonation from you? What do you have to say?
Oh, 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated the proposition of all men are created equal.
Wonderful. Mike, sir, thank you again so much. Liz, back to you.
Thank you, Peyton. We just saw the North Alabama Korean Association here. Very special individual.
Yeah, real hero in there. Master Sergeant retired Bob Sawada. Bob Sawada survived growing up in World War II, was imprisoned in Dachau concentration camp, escaped multiple times only to be recaptured, finally released after the war, immigrated to the United States, enlisted into the Army, served in the Korean War and 2 tours in Vietnam. What an incredible individual, still with us and living with us in Huntsville, Bob Sawada.
Bob, we are so happy you're with us today. You hear the chants of USA, and yes, we are here today to wave the red, white, and blue and thank all of our heroes. We have a lot of scouts going by us here, a lot of scouts. This is a big year for the Boy Scouts of America.
We're going to see a lot of Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. The North Alabama Council for Scouts here in our community is celebrating their 25th anniversary as a council. Of course, scouting has gone on for many more years than that, but 25 years for our North Alabama Council. They've got a special gathering this weekend. General Karbler is going to be providing some inspiration to those scouts this weekend.
My goodness, they will appreciate that so much. His words of wisdom. They're learning to wear the uniform early.
And there they are, Webelos. Arrows of light, all of the honors that the Cub Scouts get before they cross over the bridge and become Boy Scouts.
And maybe one day become Eagle Scouts.
That's right, Liz. 3%.
Wonderful prelude to joining the military. Learned so much from that.
Captain Joe Eastis, Vietnam veteran, is coming through the parade now, Liz.
Captain Eastis is a disabled Vietnam veteran who served his country for more than 20 years. He's proud to be riding with his lovely wife of 64 years, Martha Wadsworth Eastis. They have 2 children, 3 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. The Hempsey Honor Guard and Hempsey Ambulance Service. You hope you don't need them, but you're sure glad they are here if you do. Thank you, Hempsey, honoring veterans.
Liz, you know you're in a veteran town when the emergency services has their own honor color guard.
It's true. It's true. It's good to see them. Can you hear this next band? We have the Mae Jemison Air Force J ROTC and the Mae Jemison Band. Mae Jemison, built to replace J.O. Johnson. Named after Decatur native and former retired NASA astronaut Mae Jemison, the first African-American woman to travel into space.
The Mighty Sounds of the South Band has approximately 80 members and is directed by Reggie Pearson.
And there we have it, the Mae Jemison Sounds of the South Marching Band, honored to march in today's Veterans Day Parade to celebrate and perform for our veterans. And next, some very familiar faces in the next couple of cars. We have the 48 Storm Tracker and our meteorology team in there and following. And Brad Travis, are you driving that classic? Look at Brad, our veteran, by the way, an Army veteran, served in Afghanistan, and it was a cook in the Army and a great cook today. Jeff Denor, hello, Sean Dowling. Wonderful to see you all today. And a Le Mans.
I expect him to swing back around and pick us up after the parade in that Pontiac Le Mans.
That was my first car, a red one, Le Mans Sport Coupe. There you go. Now we have the Rock family.
You hear the Rock family in the background now, Liz. This is a church group that runs youth group organizations to promote spirit values into our kids and youth. They do such a great job in our community, the Rock family.
Followed by the American Heritage Girls Troop 3560, based in the city of Madison. Christ-centered character and leadership development program for girls who are 5 to 18 years old. They're joined by Trail Life USA Troop 1263, also based at Cross Point Church in Madison. Its mission is to guide generations of courageous young men to honor God, lead with integrity, serve others, and experience outdoor adventures.
And here they come, the Heritage Girls Troop.
Good morning. Look at those faces.
They're happy to be in the Veterans Day Parade, aren't they, Liz?
They are. And I'm so excited today to look short-sleeve shirts in downtown Huntsville, November the 11th. I know they like that. Good morning, boys.
Here the Trail Life boys are coming through. Walking this 2-mile route today. Looking good. Waving those flags, making us all proud.
I think these have a good seat.
That might be one of those, the last shall be first and the first shall be last by the end of 2 miles.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And now we have the Salvation Army of Madison County. It provides vital life-saving resources to residents throughout North Alabama, including emergency shelter, feeding, homelessness, prevention, life recovery, and so much more. The Salvation Army has more than 1.8 million members in 133 countries. It assists approximately 23 million Americans annually. The Salvation Army dedicated to doing the most good.
That's right, Liz. And of course, the Salvation Army works year-round but we're rapidly approaching the season where we see the Salvation Army donation drop-offs, where they look for your generous contributions.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And here we go. We have the Redstone Harley Owners. The Redstone Harley Owners Group, Chapter 4052. Look at them coming, 180 members, 30% of whom are veterans of all branches of our armed forces.
Harley's Owners Group, you know what that spells, Liz?
Hog.
And here we start to hear some of those carburetors. As the official riding club of Harley-Davidson motorcycles, their main purpose is to ride and have fun while achieving lifelong friendships and to make sure that those pipes are heard.
They've got the flags of all branches of service. We have the U.S. Space Force, we have the Marines, we have the Hog flag. They are representing today. Good morning. Our 46th entry today is the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 1067. It's an organization dedicated to Vietnam veterans and Vietnam-era veterans. The organization focuses on helping members and their families, as well as all veterans throughout our community. The motto, leave no man behind.
Liz, our Vietnam veterans served in such a different time in America.
And difficult time.
Very difficult. But you know, they made sure that our generation of soldiers never faced what they faced. And so we owe a sincere debt of gratitude to that generation of warfighters and veterans that came before us.
We certainly do.
Thank you for your support, Channel 48.
Thank you, Sergeant Major.
Thank you, Charlie. Oh, what have you got for us? Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you for serving.
Okay, that's all. Okay.
Thank you all for serving.
Thank you.
Let's see, from the Vietnam veterans, oh my goodness. Oh, how lovely.
Pen and flashlight.
A pen and flashlight.
On your keychain, Liz, so you can always make your way to your car, find that keyhole.
Very practical, and for me, very necessary. Good morning. Good morning. We have the Miller brothers.
Yep.
You know, that
before
was Charlie
we had the
Miller,
senior
who's
helpers.
unrelated.
Right.
Sergeant Major Charlie Miller. Now we have Miller brothers, unrelated Vietnam veterans, an entire family. Hello, sir. Thank you for serving. Wonderful to see you again this year. James, John, Thomas, Willie, and Leo, 1966 to 1972.
Such an amazing story when you think about the 5 Miller brothers and the Miller family that all served. Of course, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Mama Miller for letting her boys go serve.
One wouldn't think that was possible, that was legal to let all 5 go, but
of course their father, Leslie Miller Sr., was a World War II veteran. They proudly believe if you join the service, make sure to put God in there with you. Always pray that God will lead and guide you on to take the direction you need to take. I always believe there's no atheists in foxholes.
Isn't that the truth? We have a John Deere tractor coming, and it's harvest
old
time.
John Deere tractor. There they are.
Steady for Life, now in its 11th year, is one of the most active 55-plus groups in Huntsville. In addition to their fitness and their travel programs, they are out and about through our community celebrating the veterans today for their bravery and their sacrifice. Good morning.
Liz, did we say we're going to have a lot of scouts coming through the parade today? Here comes another one. Cub Scout Pack 7361. Founded in 1930. Has been training and teaching these young boys in scouting for 93 years.
Look at the ribbons. They have been learning a lot. They've been practicing a lot. They got a lot going on. With the support of dads, brothers, uncles, granddads, too.
Sometimes moms.
Mm-hmm. I see a mom out there. She was hiding.
When my boys were in Scouts, I know Grace Kinsley was the Cub Scout den leader for a few years because I was always deployed.
Mm-hmm.
So moms as well in the scouting mission. We appreciate you all for what you do.
Very much. Now we have the Owens Crossroads Police Department serving and protecting the city of Owens Crossroads under the leadership of Chief Jason Dobbins. In the parade today, Officer Brett Jones, a Navy veteran, Reserve Officer Jeremy Kiefer, K-9 Handler Officer Jeff Graves, K-9 Raven, along with Reserve Officer Derek Green, a Marine veteran. Lieutenant Scott Worsham, Reserve Officer Andrew Craig, and Reserve Officer Sonny Hatcher and Alex Monson, both Army veterans. Thank you for serving Owens Crossroads Police.
Liz, I think that's the only time I like to hear sirens and see flashing lights behind me.
Amen.
But of course, we love our police officers for the protection they provide the community.
And now a bit of history.
We saw
Tennessee Valley Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution Color Guard. You look good for your age.
Of course, the Sons of the American Revolution is a group whereby each member can trace their direct bloodline to a soldier or supporter of the American Revolution. They are descendants of the heroes of the American Revolution in our Revolutionary War.
And we have General Washington crossing the Delaware, leading that float, in case you missed it. And now we have the Daughters of the American Revolution. Madison County chapters of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution present Sewing on the Last Star. Under the watchful eye of Continental Army Commander George Washington, seamstresses gather in a Philadelphia upholstery shop of Betsy Ross to complete the first Stars and Stripes.
Liz, right behind him, we can hear him. You can see him, the Kate Duncan Smith Daughters of the American Revolution School, and their band, the Patriots.
Of course. Of course, DAR School dates all the way back to 1924, provides a high-quality education for the students atop Gunter Mountain. Let's head to our own Peyton Walker now for what she's seeing out of the crowd. Hi, Peyton.
Hey, Liz, I mentioned it earlier, but I just want to stress again how many kids, young adults I am seeing lining these streets. I'm here now with Anissa and Jordan. Anissa's 9, Jordan's 11. Guys, tell me what we're celebrating today.
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day. Look at these kids. I got to ask, you could have slept in. You're off school, right? It's Saturday morning. Tell me, why did you want to come out here? Jordan, let's start with you.
I wanted to come out here today so I could celebrate all the veterans who were in the Army, war, and all who have passed for doing their jobs in the Army.
So sweet. Again, those words from Jordan. Anissa, anything you want to say?
I just came out to celebrate my mom, aunt, and uncle.
So sweet. Again, these kids. Can you tell us Happy Veterans Day?
I tell the forest, we go the
That's great. happy Veterans Day. So again, so many kids out here. I also want to bring it around to Michelle McNamara and Sam Stoner. Guys, again, Saturday morning. Michelle, though, you've got a personal reason to be down here. Tell me about your brother and his service.
Yes, my brother was a naval aviator, so just came out here to support him and his fellow veterans. So grateful for their service, but also Huntsville is just such a big missile defense city, so it just feels like close to my heart.
Yeah, Sam Stoner, likewise. You love this community, right? Tell me why you wanted to be down here on these streets.
Oh yeah, it's a great day for our city. Look at all these people we have out here supporting our veterans. A great day for everybody to come together for that reason. It's a great day.
Yeah, again, so many people, guys. Sam, Michelle, thank you both being here. So many people lining these streets. It is so great to see. And again, I'll be having more live looks throughout the day. But for now, again, Peyton Walker, 48 News on your side. Liz?
So the Ford Motor Company was contracted. In the end, over 600,000 of those Jeeps were made. The Willys Jeep, though, the original, was deployed into the Asia Pacific Theater. One was captured by the Japanese and taken back to Japan, where it became the construct of the first Toyota Land Cruiser.
No kidding.
That's the truth. Now we're seeing...
We got motorcycles too, but we also have more Jeeps.
We saw Command half-tracks coming through from World War II.
And now we have Korean-era Willys, the M38A2 Jeep.
And right behind with this rounded fender is the M151 Mutt, Korean War. The rounded fender Jeeps were a little bit wider, which was appreciated by our soldiers in them, but also became the Jeep model that became the CJ5, sold for over 3 decades in America.
What does MUT stand for?
The MUT, it was originally a tactical utility vehicle, multi-purpose vehicle, but a chief warrant officer turned it around backwards and made it the MUT. There's Santa Claus making an early appearance, riding through one of our Willys Jeeps.
Saw that.
Glad he's not on a tank.
Could be hazardous.
The collection of Jeeps and military artifacts in Huntsville is really amazing. We're going to see more of them yet today. But, you know, a significant statistic. The first Jeep made by Ford Motor Company, as I mentioned, serial number 0001, is housed in our Veterans Museum down in Hunt Park.
Which is obviously empty right now because all the vehicles are here on the city streets.
But they'll be back soon. Entrance into the museum is free today, Liz.
And it is a treasure trove of history for the United States military. All branches of service represented. Families have donated uniforms and medals and biographies and historical aspects that really make up the fabric of our community and teach so many lessons to so many who visit here as well.
Now we're starting to see the Humvees come through the parade, or Hummers as they're more commonly referred to in America. The Humvees was a wider vehicle, obviously, you can see, with a lot of different configurations. The Humvee's been largely replaced in the U.S. Army, but we still have a few varieties of it for our ambulance vehicles out on the battlefield and a few other types.
Replaced because of fuel?
No, replaced for a little bit larger and a little bit more mobile moving vehicles.
And perhaps with more safety aspects involved. I see a chopper coming.
Of course, the Humvees were the replacement from the Jeep because of the rollover aspect of the Jeeps. Here comes a UH-1 Huey helicopter. This one flew hours in Vietnam. Actual Vietnam gunship flown by our Vietnam Helicopter Pilots Association.
And it was restored by them. I understand it came back battered and torn, and it looks amazing.
And here comes the trail of the North Alabama Vietnam Helicopter Pilots Association. That's a great looking truck.
That
Liz.
is, and look at that eagle, home of the brave. Lovely. And now our Tut Fan Veterans Home. Good morning, filled with our very special veterans. We pay homage, we pay tribute to you every day. Tut Fan, born in Huntsville in 1923, 100 years ago. He entered military force in 1941 at Fort McClellan. Tut was a medium tank crewman in Europe in the Second World War, and now the home here in Huntsville for our veterans, named in his memory.
Liz, now here comes Lee New Century Technology High School Army Junior ROTC, commanded by Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jaden Johnson and Cadet Command Sergeant Major Abigail Tubb. The General Battalion is always busy supporting their school and their community. These cadets are an amazing group of young leaders that put others before themselves. They want to make their school and their community better than they found it. They're innovative and leading in the way in Huntsville and Huntsville City Schools. For the 4th consecutive year, the General Battalion has the only recipient of the Legion of Valor with Bronze Cross, which in the state of Alabama, and that Legion of Valor with Bronze Cross is the highest recognition for outstanding leadership and scholarship within Army Junior ROTC programs.
We have the JROTC from Lee New Century. We also have the Lee High School Band, the marching band under the direction of Reggie Pearson. The Lehigh Generals, led by Mr. Showtime, Devontae Cunningham. Good morning, Lehigh Generals.
They've been busy, Liz. They just performed at the grand reopening of the Walmart here in Huntsville, and now here they are today in our Veterans Day Parade.
And now we have the All-American paratroopers who served in the 82nd Airborne Division in Vietnam, Grenada, Panama, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan, and NATO recently. This is the 82nd Airborne Vulcan Group. The group strives to set the example for ROTC cadets in our area high schools and universities through special awards for the outstanding cadets. It honors all veterans who served, especially those who were wounded or killed for our United States of America. Airborne all the way.
Liz, that 82nd Airborne Division, of course, is one of our most storied divisions in America. That AA on their patch representing all American.
All American.
And one of my favorite quotes from his military history, soldier from the 82nd Airborne in the Battle of the Bulge. As a retreating tank destroyer was moving its way back, Private First Class Martin was digging in, and the commander on the tank destroyer yelled to the soldier, "Who are you?" And he proudly said, "I'm the 82nd Airborne, and this is as far as the are going."
We have the Rocket City Young Marines now before our stands. The Rocket City Young Marines, highly respected national youth program for boys and girls between 8 and 18, focuses on strengthening their lives academically through self-discipline and teamwork, honoring our veterans today.
We also have retired Major General Jack Leedy in his 1966 Ford Galaxy convertible. Jack was commissioned in the U.S. Army as an infantry officer through the ROTC program at Georgetown University. Later transferred into the military intelligence branch, served with General Norman Schwarzkopf as his director of intelligence.
Wow.
Recently, he's the author of a newly published book, Professional Courage. General Leedy, sir, thank you for being with us today. Now we have Corson Fire and Security coming through. Corson Fire and Security offers a wide range of services to provide businesses and residents with systems which will safeguard them from loss due to fire. Corson, we've seen in the parade many years, proud supporters of our Veterans Day activity, and we welcome again. Here comes the Rocket City Wranglers, our next set of prestigious Jeeps coming through the parade, Liz. Rocket City Wranglers is a family-oriented club.
And there are a lot of Wranglers out there.
Here, there's a long line of them coming.
Long line. You know, we talked about our Hall of Heroes. 2 family members now inducted into the Madison County Military Heritage Commission's Hall of Heroes. Earlier this morning, we told you about Colonel Roy Adams. Now his son-in-law, retired Colonel Will Johnson, also joins him in those ranks with an impressive 30-year career. Here's WAFF's Haley Baker with his story.
Retired Colonel Will Johnson is a decorated veteran. After graduating from West Point, he was first assigned to Fort Benning, Georgia. He served in the 24th Infantry Division as a tank platoon leader.
Every day, something new, something exciting, training, being in the field. I was a tank platoon leader, so being on tanks and shooting gunnery and working with soldiers on a daily basis was just fantastic.
From there, he was assigned to Korea.
We were up on the demilitarized zone. Tensions were and remain, as everybody knows, really high with North Korea, so it was a pretty active period of time.
Years later, while assigned to Fort Knox, the 9/11 attacks happened.
I've been training all these years, and now we're at war, and this is what I've been called to do.
He served as commander of Task Force Badger during Operation Iraqi Freedom. That's where he was awarded the Army Commendation Medal with Valor.
It was a pretty significant insurgent stronghold, and we knew there was some bad guys there that we needed to capture and root out. And it was a pretty difficult night, very dangerous weather conditions. As we start the raid and do the clearing operations, a portion of our force got pinned down inside the village, and so my team, I led them, and we had to help relieve them and get them out, and then continue our movement through the village. It ended up being pretty successful. The intelligence we gained from that led to a strike not long after that ended up killing Zarqawi, actually.
He then commanded the 1st Squadron of the 61st Cavalry Division and deployed to Afghanistan.
So my battalion in Afghanistan was awarded the Valorous Unit Award for an operation to clear an insurgent stronghold in western Nangarhar, part of a really tough area of Afghanistan at the time. And we lost several soldiers doing that, which really, is still tough to remember, and I feel responsible for that personally because I was the battalion commander. It was my job to bring all those guys home. And
at the end of the day, he says these missions required a team of great soldiers he's thankful to have served with. Now, he, along with his father-in-law, are the latest inductees into the Hall of Heroes.
Thank you, Peyton. We are now looking at Canines for Christ in front of us, canine assisted therapy and ministry serving nationwide as well as internationally. And then behind them we have the James Clemens High School JROTC. Commanded by Major Rez Lennon and Sergeant Major Samuel McCrae, Principal Dr. Carrie Donaldson. Peyton, I understand you are with someone we are honoring today. Peyton Walker, are you in the crowd?
Well, every year I feel like somehow the years have drifted off, and I feel like a young man again when I do this. Don't know why, but I do.
Yeah, well, we're so grateful that you're here again. For those who's tuning in, this is Raymond. He is 82 years old, served in our nation's Army back in the 60s. You say you were up in Maryland during that time. Tell me a little bit about your service.
Well, basically, they had me listed as an armored personnel carrier, but they loaned me out, and I did most of the time typing up all that paperwork. And
yeah.
Wouldn't you know, the timing being what it was, about a year after I got out is when the word processing machines came in. So if they'd have had that, there'd have been a lot of overtime I wouldn't have had to do.
Yeah, well, we are so grateful for the service that you have put in. And you're seeing a lot of people pass by today, generations young and old. I'm curious, though, I mean, you've seen a lot during your time, right? Again, 82 years young. For the younger generations marching today, honoring our nation's heroes, any words you have to say to them?
Well, I think military service is very valuable to you. They no longer have the draft, but, you know, if once you're in the military service and practice, you find out you're a lot more than you ever thought you could be. You know, you do things that you never would have tried without somebody telling you to do it. And you look back on it and say, golly, you know, I did something like that, and you start feeling good and positive about yourself.
Yeah, very much so. It builds a lot of self-confidence, and we thank you so much again, Raymond, for the sacrifices you've made. Again, this is my new friend, Raymond. I feel like we're kindred spirits now, 82 years young. Raymond, thank you for being down here. Thank you even more for serving our great country. We're very grateful.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you so much. Lynn.
Thank you, Peyton. Raymond, so sweet. I loved chatting with you earlier this morning. Now behind us, we have the American Legion 237. Clayton E. Moneymaker American Legion Post, the largest American Legion post in the state of Alabama.
Liz, following Post 237 is the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, an association of combat veterans from all branches of the armed forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Their mission is now to support and defend those who have defended our country.
Try that again, John.
I think their real mission was to try to drown me out. I think their real mission was to try to drown me out, and I think they did a pretty good job of it, Liz.
They did a great job.
That was the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association.
We have the Drake State Community and Technical College here today. Hello, Drake State. Helping to educate our veterans as well as their families. The school actively supports our veterans, our military personnel, and their dependents, who really are a significant population within Drake State's growing student body. And boy, is that student body growing there. With us today, veterans, faculty, staff, students, Drake State ambassadors. If you'd like to find out more about all the wonderful programs and classes offered at Drake State, go to drakestate.edu.
Liz, here comes American Heritage Girls Troop, Alabama 3110, and Trail Life Troop, Alabama 2819 of Summit Crossing Community Church. For over 25 years, American Heritage Girls has impacted families, communities, and girls for Christ, helping youth to discover their God-given dreams and giftings. Despite the world's rapidly changing ideas and virtues, American Heritage Girls is committed to remaining steadfast in their mission that was established over a quarter of a century ago.
And then behind them, we have the Rocket City Twirlers, a local group of twirlers starting at 3 years old. They learned how to twirl, they perform, they learn grace, and they learn so much more. They travel the country to learn about our great country. And the Buckhorn High School JROTC in Newmarket. Earlier this year, 4 members of the program signed up for military service. 2 in the Navy, one to the National Guard, and another to the ROTC program at the University of North Alabama.
After this, they'll start drills for the Newmarket Christmas Parade happening on December. And just recently, they helped out with Life South Community Blood Centers with a blood drive.
Awesome.
Community support, spirit of patriotism thriving through our junior ROTC program at Buckhorn.
Not to be outdone by the Moores Mill Fire and Rescue and the Volunteer Fire and Rescue. Always need them in an emergency. We are grateful for your service today.
Liz, I think people need to know when you hear volunteer firefighters, these aren't just men and women showing up to wear the gear and look the part. Their crews are trained in the standards of Alabama Firefighters Personnel and Education Commission. So I just got to think, how great is that? Men and women volunteering to go fight fires and rescue people in need, taking the time to get trained and certified because they're a volunteer firefighting force.
Passing us now, we have retired
Sergeant First Class Marion Terry, 1965 Vietnam veteran. Served in the Army for 20 years and then followed that up with 21 years of civil service. Thank you, Sergeant Marion Terry.
We have now reached entry number 100 of our 175 entrants today. 100 Corvettes, how apropos. We have many veterans in these Corvettes, vets in vets, First Class Corvettes and Friends of North Alabama, a nonprofit car club serving the Huntsville and Madison area.
And I think in this group of Corvettes, we're supposed to see a couple of mascots here from our Huntsville Havoc. Do we see Ruckus and Chaos out there anywhere?
I don't see them yet. I think they may be waiting on a big introduction in a couple minutes.
That would be typical of Havoc mascots.
They're going to make a ruckus. These are beautiful cars, too. And look, the tops are down. Perfect day for that.
It is a great day to have a Corvette convertible and be cruising through the parade.
We really are blessed to have a good weather day. After last year, oh my goodness, that downpour. The heavens are shining on us today.
I just hope they don't burn out any clutches having to idle through the parade.
Mm-hmm. We're joined, I see, by CSX Railroad. Hear that horn tooting now.
Liz, coming behind the First Class Corvette Club, we've got still serving veterans. They're going to take a few more minutes to walk up here, but that gives us more time to talk about them because they are an outstanding veteran support organization supporting transitioning service members when they leave the military, helping them with health benefits, post-military employment, and so much more. Their counselors are veterans who know firsthand the challenges of transitioning into the civilian world. They do one-on-one counseling at no cost to the service members or their family members. They were established in 2006 here in Huntsville. In the past couple of years, they've helped over 1,000 veterans find post-military employment, and they've secured well over $3.5 million of VA benefits.
So for people listening here locally and listening at home, if they are now fresh outs and they want to get back into the civilian workforce, what do they need to do?
They need to call Still Serving Veterans and make an appointment. They don't even have to be recently transitioned out. Any veteran can go in there and get free services through Still Serving Vets to help them out.
Union Chapel Missionary Baptist Church, following Still Serving Veterans, 206 members from all branches of the service under the leadership of veteran Pastor O. Wendell Davis.
And here comes Madison County High School Tiger Battalion, Junior ROTC, led by Cadet Lieutenant Colonel James Nix. The Tiger Battalion continues to hold itself to the highest standards of Army Junior ROTC, achieving the Honor Unit with Distinction rating for the last 13 years. These active young citizens provide in excess of 2,000 hours of service annually, partnering with AUSA, VFW, and Lions Club International. Their battalion motto challenges all of us to make your mark.
And then we have the Gentry ISOM VFW Post 2702. It has been in existence since 1945. The post currently stands at nearly 500 members and is the largest post in the state of Alabama. The group instrumental in serving the veterans of the Tennessee Valley, helping obtain their VA benefits, fighting for veterans' causes, as well as assisting veterans, as well as their families. Boy Scout Troop 343, Cub Scouts, as well as 7343, chartered by Southeast Church of the Nazarene in Huntsville, among the largest scouting units in the Southeast. We talked about Scouts and big anniversaries today. It's produced 136 Eagle Scouts in the last 20 years. So we salute you too as well.
I think they're going to have a great weekend this weekend over at the Space and Rocket Center.
They're marking the occasion. What are they doing?
For that 25th anniversary of the North Alabama Council.
Hundreds are going to be out there at the Rocket Center. Hello, good morning. Coming up on entry 108, Huntsville, Redstone, red, white, and blue.
America's leading health and wellness community for veterans. More than health care, they deliver consistent local opportunities for veterans and the community to connect through physical and social activities.
I'm looking for SARTEC. I don't see SARTEC, the K-9 unit. They should be following up.
Next, we're going to see Vitality Living Upland Park. Vitality Living Upland Park is a vibrant, active, adult, independent living, assisted living, and memory care community in Mid-City. Their vibrant senior community is proud to be home to some of the bravest heroes and veterans. Vitality thanks you and salutes you, veterans of America. Check them out on their Facebook page at Vitality Living Upland Park.
And now we have the North Alabama Premier Mopar Group supporting Huntsville's community.
Mopar and Mopower. We're seeing some colorful muscle come through the parade now.
Yes, we are. As the Mopars continue along, we want to continue to pay tribute, to salute our brand new inductees into the Madison County Hall of Heroes. These veterans are carefully chosen by the Madison County Military Heritage Commission. WAFF 48's Haley Baker introduces us to a man who was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross while serving as a, quote, reluctant medic in Vietnam.
brief that said half of you won't make it without getting killed or wounded.
At just 19 years old, Ronald Wright was drafted into the Army and within months was on the front lines of the Vietnam War.
So I was chosen to be a combat medic of all things. And that amazed me because I had no interest in first aid and treating wounded people.
As a man of faith, he said he prayed as he and members of the 101st Airborne Infantry Platoon deployed. Just 9 months into his deployment, his platoon was attacked by enemy forces.
But it was like rain, just rounds coming in. And then I heard people calling for help. And then I thought, Lord, I prayed, and here I am. Somebody needs my help. And so from there, I just tried to do what I was there to do. That when people needed help, and I was just trying to be, I resolved at that point, Lord, if I die, I die. But I'm not going to be a coward. I want to serve.
For that, he was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross. His military records show he too was hit by gunfire and seriously injured, but as a medic, he continued to work and help bandage and treat other injured soldiers.
Wounded right here, so close, and the Lord blessed me wherever it hit through here, went through, pierced my tongue, knocked teeth out here, but somehow the bullet went that way.
And despite his own injury, he carried a man back through that gunfire to be treated.
The Lord allowed me to get wounded while trying to help people, and he preserved me.
Mr. Wright finished out his 2-year commitment with the Army and got out. Mr. Wright went on to serve as a pastor. And now he's being recognized locally as he is the latest inductee into the Madison County Hall of Heroes.
Some people didn't make it. I made it, and I'm thankful. So I don't feel deserving.
Oh, but Mr. Wright, you are so deserving. The reluctant medic who is now a pastor.
What an amazing story,
Liz. He really is a dear man.
And we just had the Columbia High School Army Junior ROTC program come through. I have a special place in my heart for Columbia High School Junior ROTC because my battle buddy, Sergeant Major Nate Bartee, trains those kids, and they do so well. They just participated in the Bob Jones High School drill meet, representing Columbia, winning many categories at that competition. Congrats, Eagle Battalion.
And now we have the Columbia High School Marching Band. The band has performed in Washington, D.C. for the Parade of Heroes, has also been invited to perform in Hawaii for the commemoration of the attack on Pearl Harbor. And the trills of the piccolo and the flute round out Columbia High School Band. I appreciate them as a former band member and drum major. Wonderful job. You got superiors at your recent state assessment, so congratulations to you.
Liz, next up is the Puffy Mamas.
They are puffy.
They are puffy. They look like they know how to have fun. The Puffy Mamas Mini Float Crew is a group of fun-loving moms from the Monrovia-Madison area who just love spreading joy, laughter, and smiles throughout the Tennessee Valley. Formed in February of 2022, the Puffy Mamas are thrilled to be honoring all service members this Veterans Day by participating in the parade for their very first time.
Redstone Federal Credit Union honoring our veterans. Thank you all for being here today. Redstone Federal, we talked about AUSA as an organization, the largest in the world, the chapter from Huntsville Redstone Arsenal right here. And if you belong as a member of the credit union,
if you belong as a member of the Redstone Federal Credit Union, you now have automatic membership into the Association of the United States Army for free. Redstone Federal Credit Union is an important community partner to our chapter of Association of the United States Army, which, as you mentioned, Liz, is now the largest chapter in the world, receiving AUSA's national recognition of the best chapter in the world for Association of the United States Army. Right here, Redstone Huntsville chapter.
170,000 members. Amazing. And now we have the Alizar Shriners. Good morning. How are you all? Good to see you.
I dare say it's not a parade without the Shriners in their clown cars coming down the street, and here they come. Of course, the Shriners do tremendous work and charitable contributions to provide the hospitals, the Shriners hospitals for our children. They support our communities,
bringing joy and laughter. And I see somebody causing a ruckus. Ruckus with the Coleman County Wranglers. Good morning, ruckus and chaos. The Wranglers, of course, a group of Jeep Wrangler enthusiasts based out of Coleman County. Rides off-road, on-road, meets and greets, heads out to other events. Ruckus and chaos from the Huntsville Havoc joining us here. Big game last night downtown and more to come.
This is our first year to have ruckus and chaos in the parade. And of course, earlier at the beginning, we had Sprocket from the Trash Pandas. A real sign of the growth in our community to have professional sports teams and what that brings to our community and our entertainment.
Enhances, enlightens, and really grows our quality of life. We have the 101st Airborne, Staff Sergeant Brewer.
Leave it to ruckus and chaos to throw us off our game, Liz, and show up in a different group of Jeeps than we had originally planned on seeing them. Here comes the Air and Space Forces Association, Tennessee Valley chapter. The chapter of the Air and Space Forces Association celebrates the rich heritage of our U.S. Air Force and now our U.S. Space Force and their contribution to the defense of our great nation. The Air Force Association educates the public on the critical need for air and space power, advocates for air and space power and STEM education, supports the total Air and Space Force families. And there you can hear it. Off we go into the wild blue yonder.
Air Force, of course, started out as the Army Air Corps in the early 40s and then became the U.S. Air Force in the late 1940s.
Army General Hap Arnold.
Hap Arnold.
Got a little bit off the reservation in the Army, and next thing we know, he created this thing called the Air Force.
And now from the Air Force, we have the U.S. Space Force, spawning more branches of service. And right now we have the Grissom High School Army JROTC.
The Tiger Battalion, Liz. Looking good in their numbers, marching well today, and being followed right behind with the Grissom High School Band.
And now we have the Redstone Composite Civil Air Patrol, the Cappies. Redstone Composite Squadron of the Civil Air Patrol, a premier public service organization that carries out emergency service missions in the air and on the ground. The cadet program promotes aviation and related fields through aerospace, STEM education. Huntsville-based all-volunteer squadron made up of 75 cadets and 60 adult members.
The cadets from the Civil Air Patrol are coming through from the Redstone Squadron. They've had great success in competing in national drone, cybersecurity, and rocketry competitions. This group meets on Monday evenings at 6:30 at the Central Church of Christ on Clinton Avenue, and is a great opportunity for youth from ages from 12 to 18 years of age to learn about aviation. Liz, next is the 11th Cavalry Jeep here with the Black Horse, the 11th Cavalry veteran with grandkids in memory of First Lieutenant Danny Falk. Danny Falk was in Fox Troop of the 2nd 11th ACR Armored Cavalry Regiment in Vietnam. He was a two-time Bronze Star recipient and Purple Heart recipient. Outstanding hero.
Now we have the Whispering Wind National Queens. It's a national pageant system dedicated to giving back to the community. Their back-to-school pageant provided a local school with more than 500 items for children who may need them. Whispering Wind Queens say thank you to all of our veterans for their service.
The Veterans of Foreign Wars, Joyce M. Helsenpost is coming through. They're a nonprofit veteran service organization, of course, VFW, that traces its roots back to 1899.
And now we have the Marshall Space Flight Center Asian and Pacific Islanders group. MARS, appropriately named acronym, is an employee resource group representing the Asian American and Pacific Islander community at the Marshall Space Flight Center. Participating in the parade is the opportunity to show our gratitude for veterans of the United States of America. And Marshall Space Flight Center, NASA, has so many satellites, so many observatories along the islands of Hawaii and out in the Pacific.
Liz, we got 3 Cadillacs coming through the parade now. Spokes in vogue.
Look at this rose gold car. Oh my goodness.
These are some car enthusiasts.
Look at the vanity tag, my UFO. Following the Marshall Space Flight Center entry.
Spokes in Vogue is starting to get some real recognition. Recently they wrapped a Cadillac or a car orange, an orange Skylark car for none other than Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, who lives in Long Beach, California. And now we have
no smoking car.
No smoking. I don't know about that. Huntsville High School Space Force JROTC, one of 10 Space Force JROTCs in the nation, the only unit in the state of Alabama. This JROTC group has been recognized as a distinguished unit for 7 straight years and was a 2023 national finalist in the Stellar Explorer Space Design Competition. Following the Huntsville High Space Force JROTC, we have the Huntsville High Marching Panthers. 150-piece marching band, excited to honor our veterans today at this 2023 parade. These high schoolers, part of a comprehensive music program that includes marching band, concert band, jazz band, chamber music, pep band, and so many other musical opportunities. Let's join the Panthers for their holiday concert on December 7th. December the 7th.
Liz, here comes the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, a community-conscious and action-oriented organization built upon the principles of scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood.
We match today.
Liz, you're wearing their colors today.
I am wearing the colors. Good morning. Thank you for being with us. And we have the Heritage Girls 317.
This is another Trail Life and American Heritage Girls group, Liz. Premier Christ-centered character leadership and adventure organizations for girls and boys K through 12, serving 60,000 plus members in 50 states.
And this group we have talked about before. You call it the Submariners. I say Submariners. We have our entry 140 today, the United States Submarine Force. It can trace its history all the way back to the Revolutionary War, the very first submersible named the Turtle. That was in 1775. That was a long time ago.
Today, the U.S. submarine fleet patrols the oceans and is a silent and invisible deterrent against foreign adversaries. U.S. submarines have been used in every conflict since World War I, and their invisible presence has helped us keep the world safe for over 100 years. If you ever see a Navy sailor that has 2 gold dolphins across their chest, that is the symbol for the submarine qualified sailors in the Navy.
Look for the dolphin.
Here comes the Optimist Club of Huntsville. The Optimist Club of Huntsville serves the children of Huntsville and Madison County. Today they have members of local Optimist Joy Club joining us in our parade today. I'd say they never have a bad day.
I don't think they do. They're waving the red, white, and blue and smiling. And then we have the Low Profile Car Club. You'll be able to hear them, trust me.
Now they have to go through the parade slow, Liz, because a bump might just rip the undercarriage right out of those rides.
Pretty. Last night during the very special dinner, I was thinking about this. We had so much amazing representation from all branches of service. Space Force is coming through. I didn't see a lot of Navy, though. Did you see a lot of Navy?
Well, we did have the Volunteer of the Lifetime Award went to a Navy officer, Captain Bill Marriott. Many of Huntsville know he's been with us for over 10 years, I think, in the Huntsville community now. And last night we heard about his very storied career in the Navy and his continued civil service after his time in the Navy in uniform. But you're right, Liz, in that Armed Forces medley, I think the Navy was a little underrepresented.
Something to think about for all the young people in the crowd today. Peyton Walker, are you still out and about in the crowd?
Well, Liz, I've just moved from the crowd really over here to the Veterans Memorial because I really wanted to highlight this. I'll be honest, this is something I've not really taken the time as a Huntsville citizen to come by and look at. It is really moving. We are honoring every major U.S. conflict, starting, of course, with the Revolution, moving into the War of 1812, Mexican War, and then going all the way around to Iraq and Afghanistan, of course, our most recent conflicts. But it is really powerful here to see, again, all of our heroes being recognized. There are bricks dedicated in heroes' names. There are quotes from U.S. presidents, major military leaders. I want to read this right here. It remains a fact that few countries have ever engaged in such idealistic magnanimity, and no gain or attempted gain for human freedom can be discounted. Again, that quote coming from General William C. Westmoreland just goes to show that America is a country that fights for the underdog, right? We get involved in things because we care about liberties and freedoms, even overseas. And so just remember that as today, we are Americans who believe in that and believe in freedom, and we want to thank so much for those who made the ultimate sacrifice for that. So again, I am now at the Veterans Memorial. Just wanted to bring you that live look because I was really moved. Hope you are all were as well this morning. But for now, again, Peyton Walker, 48 News on your side. Liz?
Thank you, Peyton. Before us, we have Veterans Affairs Police.
We just saw the prestigious Diamonds dance team coming across the reviewing stand right now. That's a majorette dance team in Huntsville. And we have the Huntsville Veterans Administration Clinic. Very important organization taking care of our veterans in need of medical care right here in Huntsville. You know, until our clinic got stood up here in Huntsville, our veterans had to go all the way to Birmingham to get Veterans Administration medical care. The VA clinic is here with primary care, specialty services, including mental health, optometry, audiology, cardiology, podiatry, and more. And soon we're going to have a veterans hospital in Huntsville.
Tell me about that.
Full service hospital, VA hospital coming to Huntsville with the size of our veteran community here. That is so important for the VA to bring.
Timeline?
Not sure, but it's coming.
It is coming. That will be wonderful. We do want to remind everyone, John Kinsley, that we are going to go back to regular television programming at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So we have 10 more minutes on air. We want to let you know if you're watching from home, we will transition to WAFF.com, to our news app, for continual coverage of the Huntsville Veterans Day Parade. But didn't want to startle you. We're going to be doing that in just a couple of minutes and making that transition. Of course, we will continue to broadcast live, though, here in downtown Huntsville on what has turned out to be a fabulous, fantastic day for the 2023 Huntsville Veterans Day Parade.
Just a great day and an incredible parade with all of the bands, the ROTC organizations, the veterans organizations that have showed up today. It's a huge parade, a great crowd, as you said, a great day.
And before us, we have the Bob Jones JROTC under the command of Dr. Major Melissa Lacey, Chief Master Sergeant Ellis Clark.
This is Sparkman High School.
It is
Army Junior ROTC coming through from Harvest, Alabama. The Senator Battalion is commanded by Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Aiden Cassidy under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Lloyd Nathan, Sergeant First Class Kerry Brown, Staff Sergeant Matrell Powell. That is a large junior ROTC program. Well done, Sparkman High School.
Kappa Epsilon Psi.
We have a Kappa Epsilon Psi military sorority out of Huntsville, Alpha Rho chapter. The sorority consists of lady veterans who served their country and working to continue the mission by serving the local community. Thank you, Kappa Epsilon Psi.
And now we have the Northrop Grumman Veritas.
The Veritas is an all-inclusive Northrop Grumman employee resource group committed to recognizing and supporting active duty, reserve, and National Guard and veterans through community outreach and networking programs aligned with company and sector-wide business objectives. I think it's just great to see Northrop Grumman, a very large defense company, but creates this Veritas group within their corporation to really take a veteran-strong approach to their community, their employees, and their business.
So much of national security, national defense depends on contractors like Northrop Grumman, not only when it comes to the military, but also space exploration.
Liz, coming up, we're getting ready to see the Alabama Youth Ballet Theater. Their mission is to inspire students to achieve their individual potential through excellence in training and development in the art of dance. They're getting ready to perform the Nutcracker here in Huntsville, December 14th through 17th.
And we see the ballerinas and the Nutcrackers walking behind the Christmas tree.
I know the Nutcracker show always ends up giving tickets to soldiers.
Wonderful every single year.
How can you not love the Nutcracker show?
You love it. You know, I got a little ahead of myself a few minutes ago. I should have really turned around and look at the color of the uniform behind me. And now I'm looking at the color of the uniform in front of me. And this would be the blue of the Air Force, the Bob Jones High School Air Force, JROTC, Madison, Alabama.
Bob Jones High School Air Force Junior ROTC under the command of Dr. Major Melissa Lacey and Chief Master Sergeant Ellis Clark. The Cadet Corps Wing Commander is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Logan Jackson. This Cadet Corps continues to grow in size and has the #1 competitive drill team in the state and 5th in the nation. Well done, Bob Jones High School Air Force Junior ROTC.
Another huge crowd there. It takes protection on the land, the air, the sea, and now space to keep this country free and safe. We have just a couple minutes for our live broadcast here on WAFF. Just want to remind you we'll be transitioning to our app in just a few minutes. Entry 157 now.
This is the Votre 1012 Society of 40 and 8, or as they say, Parate Om Louis Chavot. This is an independent, invitation-only honor society of American veteran service members, more commonly known as the 40 and 8. The 40 and 8 goes back to World War II, where we moved a lot of soldiers around, and they casually put 40 soldiers or 8 horses in a rail car, and the soldiers that had been in theater for a while would say, "You been here a while?" 40 and 8 would just be their simple response.
Wonderful. We want to remind everyone right now we are going to conclude our live coverage. Please transition now to WAFF.com and the 48 News app to watch the 2023 Huntsville Veterans Day Parade. Thank you for watching today. We'll see you next year.
Thank you for watching the 2023 Veteran Tubular Products and still serving veterans.
Liz Hurley, WAFF 48 News, along with Colonel John Kinsley, retired U.S. Army. So integral to our Veterans Day Parade, coming to you live in downtown Huntsville for a beautiful, beautiful celebration today. We salute all those who have served.
Liz, right now we have the Cahaba Shriners Motor Corps coming through. Some crazy bikes and cars spinning around the street right now in our parade.
They are having a good time. They're on big wheels on steroids. Look at them go. Will they do that in front of the reviewing stand?
I'm sure they will. Every kid that ever had a big wheel loved it. Now they've got the adult version of them, Liz.
And it's got a lot of power. Oh my goodness.
Well, they're having fun out there. They're putting extra miles on those cars with the laps they're
You
taking.
are not kidding. We started the parade at 11 o'clock promptly. It is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 2 hours in, we are now at entry 161 of 175, the largest Veterans Day parade ever for the Rocket City.
Coming down the line, we're going to see another million dollar mile here. This is the Rocket City Mustang Club. Family-oriented club that welcomes all Mustang owners and enthusiasts. From early Mustangs to late models, we're going to see some beautiful Mustangs come through here. Ownership is not essential, but enthusiasm is. The Rocket City Mustang Club is the official North Alabama regional chartered club for the Mustang Club of America. They promote the restoration, preservation, and enjoyment of Mustangs, and they serve as a source of information concerning these automobiles for the benefit of its members, as well as the general public. And here they come, all shapes and sizes, all model years of Mustangs. This one's got eyelashes.
It does have eyelashes. Oh my goodness. And if you look closely, you'll see some veterans in these Mustangs as they parade through this year.
When we talk about the history of muscle cars, we often start off with Dodges. The Dodge Challenger with their Hemi engines really created the movement of muscle cars in America. Mustangs came around in the beginning of 1964, their first model year, the 1964 and a half. The 1967 Mustang came out and was known as the Hemi Killer because it was the first Mustang that could outdrive the Hemi Dodges in the quarter mile.
And we have some who want to be Ford Mustangs.
This is an infiltrator to the Mustang Club. It's a Ford Thunderbird. But it still looks good.
It does.
Convertible, effed out with flags.
Well, Thunderbirds.
Here comes a Mach 1 quietly stealth moving through. He needs to hit that pedal. There it is.
Right on cue.
Right on cue, Liz. There is a Cobra GT350. Those are very small numbered, manufactured each year.
And there's a Mach 1. And now a special group, a special project.
The Wounded Warrior Hero Project, the Wounded Hero Project in Huntsville. They're the local Wounded Warrior Project peer group representing Wounded Warrior Project. Their group consists of men and women who have served their country and reside in the Huntsville and Madison and surrounding areas. They meet the third Thursday of each month at the Redstone Harley dealership at 6 p.m. Thank you, Wounded Warrior Project.
And now the Boy Scout Troop 513.
Trail Life Troop 513 is another one of our Trail Life organizations coming through the parade today. Again, Trail Life is a premier Christ-centered character, leadership, and adventure organization for boys from age kindergarten through 12th grade. This one's from Farley Community Church, and they share a passion for creating safe and active opportunities in a Christ-centered environment to equip the next generation for Christian service. And there's a little gap in the parade because Tint World Huntsville's coming, and they can't really see the vehicles in front of them and how far they are. Tint World Huntsville. This is a service-disabled, veteran-owned automotive center. It's Huntsville's premier one-stop shop for all you automotive styling needs. Veteran-owned, service-disabled businesses.
And look at this wrapped car.
Is that a car, Liz?
It is. It's a three-wheeler, a Polaris.
I think it's great we had an opportunity to see a service-disabled, veteran-owned business highlighted in the parade. Of course, small businesses are the engine of America's economy, and veteran-owned businesses are so important to our community. We need to support them all.
And now the North Alabama Chapter for Educational Excellence.
The NACE Veterans Upward Bound Program provides intensive basic skills development in those academic subjects required for admission to post-secondary education programs for over 125 veterans. Their programs provide short-term remedial or refresher courses for those of us that need to brush up on our math and skills there before we take those college entrance exams.
And now the Maverick Training Center. It is a competitive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Thai gym located in the heart of downtown Huntsville. Mission to help people on their journey of personal improvement.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, Liz. You better wear your pads when you go in through those doors.
You know it. You know it. And now we have the Rocket City Esports of Alabama, building an inclusive esports ecosystem that combines competitive gaming, STEM education, and entertainment. The trifecta.
Of course, electronic gaming has become so popular in America and around the world. Here we're getting into virtual reality, which also plays an important role in the technology for our military around the country. Virtual reality and augmented reality.
And then Caitlin Bray here, Bama Small Engine Repair, and the Princess. And guess what's in front of us now? When you see the horses, John, you know the end of the parade is coming for obvious reasons. The North Alabama Riders Saddle Club, a warm and inclusive organization that brings together a diverse range of families and friends, all with a shared passion for horses. Their aim to nurture, strengthen the vibrant equestrian community in North Alabama by offering a wide array of engaging equestrian activities. They provide a welcoming space for individuals from all walks of life, lasting bonds that last a lifetime. Again, Southern Soul Saddles and many, many more, followed by the city of Huntsville.
But let's not forget the little red wagon that follows the Horse and Saddle Club.
Yes,
most important.
We know that job, and it's a big job. And Huntsville's K-9 unit following up there. The end of the parade is here, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 1:10. This has been a wonderful day, John Kinsley. It has been fantastic for the 2023 Veterans Day Parade. If you're leaving downtown Huntsville or you're watching us from home and you're a veteran, many companies, many businesses are offering special discounts today for special meals. Don't forget, it's 1 o'clock, but the day is young.
That's right, Liz. There are businesses all over town. We mentioned that the museum is open free today for entrance, the Veterans Museum. Many others are offering free meals, breakfast all day long. I know IHOP always does their red, white, and blue pancakes on Veterans Day. Several others. We also have a brand new business in Madison, BJ's Wholesale, that just opened up. Yesterday, they were a presenting sponsor to our Veterans Dinner. They could not be there because yesterday was their opening day.
They were busy. They were busy.
BJ's Wholesale commits to providing a very cost-beneficial shopping opportunity for local Huntsville and Madison representatives. And I know this weekend, anyone that goes in, gets a membership, and buys over $150, gets a free Butterball turkey.
How about that? If you've been watching from home or you're watching on your app from downtown Huntsville, the parade is over. It's winding its way through the area now. The last entry has just passed. We so appreciate you coming here today, participating, saluting, sharing your support. John, I appreciate your service, not only to our country, but for being so integral in bringing this Veterans Day parade to us again for 2023. We thank all of those who support the military locally, and especially to those who served. We salute you today.
Thanks, Liz. From the Huntsville Concert Band behind us that has played for 42 years in this Veterans Day parade, to our Veterans Day Committee for Huntsville and Madison County that put together the dinner last night, the Gold Star breakfast this morning, and this massive parade that we've just had. It's been a great Veterans Day weekend start, and we wish you all a great Veterans Day.
Absolutely. Again, many thanks to those who served. We appreciate it. For Colonel John Kinsley, I'm Liz Hurley. We'll see you next year for the 2024 Huntsville Veterans Day Parade. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching the 2023 Veterans Day Parade, sponsored by Nucor Tubular Products and Still Serving Veterans.